Hello guys, welcome back to the channel for a new Databricks video. Today we are going to see how to evaluate and deploy a model in Databricks. In the previous video we created and registered a RAG pipeline as an MLflow model in Unity Catalog. However, this is not enough. Most AI systems fail in production because they haven't been tested and evaluated properly, and as a result they hallucinate and provide incorrect answers. In this video we will see how to evaluate a model using built-in and custom metrics via code and the UI, and how to deploy the model as an API in the serving endpoint so that we can later use it in our data pipelines. Without any further ado, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay guys, so this is what we did in the previous video. We created a RAG pipeline, we prepared the data, we created a vector search endpoint, then we created a vector search index, which is this one here, based on the product table, right? And we had the embeddings, and then we created the agent. This is the agent that I created previously in the previous example. However, I had to recreate it here because the Databricks now wants to register the models in a specific way, and here on the documentation you will see the code-based login with LangChain or PyFunk. It's a similar structure. Here you have to include MLflow.models.setModel, and also the resources, list of Databricks resources here, right? So I had to register the model again, create a new version. So I didn't have to recreate it from the beginning. I had to just create a new version of the model. And if we go into the model here, you will see I have created multiple versions, right? I'm not going to recreate one as I have already done it, but here you will see as resources we have to input Databricks service endpoint and Databricks vector search index, right? And we have to provide the code path where our agent lives here, the py file, which is this one, right? As you can see at the bottom, I'm using MLflow.models.setModel. This is the difference. That's the only difference with the previous version. The input example, and we have the resources here that we have to provide, the endpoint name, the endpoint and the index name here, and the pip requirements. If you don't include your libraries, it's going to fail during the deployment because it's not going to find the necessary libraries. So you have to use pip_requirements, include all the libraries that you are using in order to build and register the model, the model name, and we register the model. And here you can see it created version 5. Now we want actually to evaluate the model. Now the first thing we have to do is to load the model using MLflow PyFunk load model and the model URI, and we load version 5, right? Here it's 5. We want the latest version. Then step 1 is to create the evaluation dataset. Each row represents a test case. The input key must match the predict function argument. This is critical for MLflow GenAI evaluation. Here is the evaluation set. So if we run this, we can see the evaluation, and you can check how to create evaluation sets. Here there is documentation about evaluation sets and samples here. Sample evaluation set with only request. We have the request. Then we have the request and the expected response. We have sample evaluation set with request, expected response, expected retrieved content. I'm going to provide the link in the description for all this documentation. So let's go back to our Databricks, and here this is the evaluation set using pandas data frame. Now we have to define the predict function, which is calling the predict function of our model, right? So predict_fn, the input in the chat history. And here we are calling the predict method from the model, and we provide a response. So let's run this as well. Define, and here in the evaluation metrics, we have the built-in metrics, LLM as a judge, and custom metrics. These evaluate general quality of responses. Built-in metrics evaluate the RAG component. Did we retrieve relevant documents? Is the answer grounded in retrieve context? Custom metrics allow us to evaluate business-specific requirements, product correctness, hallucination, helpfulness. You can see more about that here in the documentation again. You can see built-in LLM judges. Built-in LLM judges are predefined scorers that use Databricks-hosted LLMs to evaluate common quality dimensions of your Gen AI application, such as relevance, safety, groundedness, and correctness. And then here you can see the judges. We have relevance to query, retrieval relevance, safety, retrieval groundedness, correctness, guidelines, all these kind of things. You can take a look here on the documentation for more information about the built-in metrics. Here we're going to use relevance to query and safety. And then from custom metrics, we provide guidelines. For example, for product match, check if the response correctly matches a product from the catalog. Return true if correct, false otherwise. Or product correctness, check if the response correctly identifies a product from the catalog. Valid products, all this. Return 1 if correct, 0 if is incorrect. Hallucination grounding metric, determine if the response is grounded in the product catalog, should return 1 or 0 again. And helpfulness metric, rate how helpful the response is for answering the user's question, score from 1 to 5. And here is how to run the evaluation. This runs LLM-based evaluation. Each response is judged by another model, LLM as a judge. So here we set the experiment. If it hasn't already been set up, it's going to create a new one. And then we have MLflow.startRun, run name, rag eval demo for me. And then we evaluate, we provide the evaluation dataset, the predict function, and the scores, all these metrics that we created here. I'm not going to run it because I have already run it. And here, if you run it, you can see view evaluation results in MLflow. As you will see, I have run the evaluation many times. So that's a good thing. It has history of the evaluation. So that's very helpful because you can easily debug, right? And here you can see which assessments passed or failed, the requests, what is good for office work, and then the tokens used, the execution time, the state. Here the grounding is failed because it gives you the response mentions a lightweight laptop as a product suitable for office work. However, it does not specify any particular laptop or model, and that's why it says why it fails the test and why it passed the test actually. So these tests failed and the relevance and safety test passed. So here you can see, you can evaluate your model based on the questions that you provide and the answers that it provides back. And you also have the history of the evaluations. You can see in the traces as well, all these things. Scroll to the right, you can see all that. But if you want to check each run individually, you go into evaluation runs. So here, or you can use the print the results.metrics and it will give you the answer and the scores here, right? Now, let's say we have evaluated the model. Now it's time to deploy the model. There are two ways to deploy the model. We are going to use the first one. The first one is the generic model serving, a simple API endpoint. So we are going to deploy the model as an API endpoint, and it's going to be seen in the serving here. If you open that, in the serving endpoint, right here, by default, it has all these Databricks serving endpoints, and this is ours here. Now it's not ready. In the meantime, let me start the endpoint. But here, this is how you do it using Databricks SDK, because there is another option to use agent framework that provides a full Gen AI app. You have the review app, you provide feedback, you have subject matter experts that correct actually the model for the future and all these kind of things. So it's a more complete version. Option 2 is a more complete version, but you can use, if you want to deploy a model as a simple API endpoint, this is how you do it using the SDK, where you provide the endpoint name, endpoint core config input, the name and the served model, serve model input, and here you provide the model name, the version, workload size small, scale to 0, enable true, and here you create the endpoint. I have already created, so if I rerun it, it's going to give an error. But let's go into serving endpoints, and here it will take a minute to start because it takes some time, and the first time that you actually create it, it takes about 15 minutes to be created, so be patient. The API endpoint is up and running, so here you can click on the use and it will provide you the query, the browser, and the input, and now if you send a request, it will provide you an answer. Do you have a laptop with graphics? Yes, there is a laptop with graphics described, etc, etc, etc. You can use CURL, Python, or SQL, and you can integrate this API endpoint in your pipelines. One thing to notice here is that you have logs, so if during deployment you have a failure, you will see it here in the logs, or the service logs or build logs, right? And what else? Now, if we had used the agent framework instead of just deploying a simple API, here you would give as an option the review app so that you could provide feedback, or in the playground you would be able to select your endpoint. Now here, as you can see, we are not able to select our serving endpoint, unfortunately, but still you have it here and you can play around, and you have also permissions and alerts, edit and stop. I will stop it now, because one thing that you need to have in mind when it comes to AI models, etc., and all these AI things, they are very costly. Even for demo purposes, they are very costly, so be careful with your budget. And let me delete that actually. This is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something about how to evaluate a model using built-in and custom metrics, how you can check the UI to see the results of the evaluations, and how you can deploy the model into production. I'm going to upload these scripts on GitHub if you want them, if you want to play around, and I'm going to provide the links of the documentation in the description. If you like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.